this is somehow owed to me because I think it's my turn. I'm running because of what Dr. Martin Luther King called the fierce urgency of now. See, I don't want to wake up 4 years from now and find out that millions of people still don't have health insurance because we couldn't take on the insurance industry.
Well, welcome back to the Ed Show. That was President Obama on the campaign trail back in 2007 telling us why he wanted to be president. Talking tough on health care, but does he have the guts to see it through? I have to play devil's advocate. We have to ask the tough questions. Seems to me he's losing his nerve a little bit. He can't draw a line in the sand.
If it were so easy that all you did was show up in Washington and say, let's change. I think Evan and I would have figured that out a while ago.
What a difference a day makes. Yesterday's big bad news for the prospect of health care reform was that the public option was dead. The idea that Americans should have the choice of joining a program like Medicare if they wanted to, instead of private insurance, it had run into Republican opposition, and the Democrats looked like they had decided to fold. Over the weekend, representatives of the White House and the president himself floated the idea that the public option would not necessarily have to be included in health care legislation in order for the president to sign it. The president had previously described that as a must. So, after this weekend, cue the howls of protest from Democrats and liberals, and just from people who thought we were really going to get real health care reform this year. Just one day later, hello, public option again. Missed you while you were gone. Take Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius. Over the weekend, here's what she had to say about the public option.
I think what's important is choice and competition, and I'm convinced at the end of the day the plan will have both of those, but that is not the essential element.
Public option, not the essential element. That was on Sunday. Secretary Sebelius today.
Here's the bottom line. Absolutely nothing has changed. We continue to support the public option that will help lower costs, give American consumers more choice, and keep private insurers honest.
That was easy. Nothing's changed. Forget what I said about the not the essential element thing. Over the weekend, White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs offered this wiggle room on the public option.
What the president has always talked about is that we inject some choice and competition into the private insurance market. The president has thus far sided with the notion that that can best be done through a public option.
Okay, thus far sided with.
Of all,
is that a hedge?
No.
No. The president has thus far sided with the public option thus far. Today, very different, even though he says it's not at all different. Check out the difference.
I think the president has discussed that a public option is his preferred method to add choice and competition. That is what we've said. That's what we said in June. That's what we said in July. That's what we said.
Okay, so working from that premise, which we all can agree on is the stated position today.
We can.
The stated position today. Then there's the president himself. On Saturday, President Obama seemed to be setting up the first nail for the coffin of the public option.
The public option, whether we have it or we don't have it, is not the entirety of health care reform. This is just one sliver of it, one aspect of it.
Whether we have it or we don't have it, that was President Obama speaking on Saturday. Today, his communications director for his health reform effort put it quite differently, while again insisting that nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. The president has always said he wants to lower costs, choice and competition.
Well,
public option is a good way to do that.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Okay. So I guess the public option is not dead at all. It was all just a big misunderstanding. Nothing has changed. Of course, in terms of what the White House is saying about the public option, things really have changed. It's been quite a change over the last 24 hours. The public option has been retrieved from under the bus where it was thrown this weekend. It's been dusted off, and the White House is now saying, let bygones be bygones. Things really have not changed, however, in the U.S. Senate. Senator Kent Conrad, a Democrat who's been at the center of the health care legislation debate, had this to say about the public option this weekend.
There are not the votes in the United States Senate for the public option. There never have been. So to continue to chase that rabbit, I think, is just a wasted effort.
No votes, never have been. That was Sunday. Senator Conrad today is actually saying exactly the same thing.
There have never been the votes in the United States for public option. That's just a fact.
The White House may be back to supporting a public option, but the key Democrats in the Senate, Democratic senators like Kent Conrad, no. They are not on board with the public option. They're saying it's not even possible. They do not seem to be changing their mind about it.
But in the subterranean campaign, the Clinton-Obama staffs got into it over this. An Obama mailer warning voters that Hillary Clinton's health care plan will force those who can't afford it to buy health insurance. Basically, the printed version of this.
She believes that we have to force people who don't have health insurance to buy it.
Though the flyer, and this is a campaign after all, left out this part.
Contrary to the description that Barack just gave, we actually will make it affordable for everyone because my plan lowers costs aggressively.
In a conference call with reporters, the Clinton campaign dumped all over the Obama flyer, calling the picture of the troubled-looking couple.
The problem is they don't get it.
Reminiscent of a Republican-backed ad that all but destroyed Clinton's health care proposal in 1994. Health care is one of those home and hearth issues that both campaigns know makes a difference in the voting booth. Neither is going to let this drop. She continues to argue his plan leaves people out.
I believe with all my heart that it is a moral right for people to have quality, affordable health care. That is why I've put forth a plan to cover everyone, because I would not know who to leave out.
But we have differences, and in the last several days, some of those differences in tactics and the choices that Senator Obama's campaign has made regarding flyers and mailers and other information that has been put out about my health care plan and my position on NAFTA have been very disturbing to me. And therefore, I think it's important that you stand up for yourself and you point out these differences so that voters can have the information they need to make a decision. You know, for example, it's been unfortunate that Senator Obama has consistently said that I would force people to have health care whether they could afford it or not. You know, health care reform and achieving universal health care is a passion of mine. It is something I believe in with all my heart. And every day that I'm campaigning, and certainly here throughout Ohio, I've met so many families, happened again this morning in Lorain, who are just devastated because they don't get the health care they deserve to have. And unfortunately, it's a debate we should have that is accurate and is based in facts about my plan and Senator Obama's plan, because my plan will cover everyone and it will be affordable. And on many occasions, independent experts have concluded exactly that. And Senator Obama's plan does not cover everyone. It would leave, give or take, 15 million people out. So we should have a good debate that uses accurate information, not false, misleading, and discredited information, especially on something as important as whether or not we will achieve quality, affordable health care for everyone. That's my goal. That's what I'm fighting for, and I'm going to stand up for that.
I like to ask audiences to consider this as a hiring decision. If you were to hire the person you thought was ready on day one to do the toughest job in the world, what would you look for? What kind of resume would you be trying to seek out? I obviously believe that I have a unique set of qualifications and experiences that prepared me for this moment in time.
There's a big difference between us. Speeches versus solutions. Talk versus action. You know, some people may think words are change, but you and I know better. Words are cheap. I know it takes work. We all want an America defined by deep and meaningful equality, from civil rights to labor rights, from women's rights to gay rights, from ending discrimination. There are no acceptable limits, and there are no acceptable prejudices in the 21st century in our country.
We have a common task and a common challenge.
Why can't we see that we are all in this together?
18 million of you from all walks of life. Women and men, young and old, Latino and Asian, African American and Caucasian, rich, poor and middle class, gay and straight, you have stood with me. And I will continue to stand strong with you every time, every place, and every way that I can. The dreams we share are worth fighting for.